right, people. Mr. Wright here with lesson 6.5 for the clarinets only. That means this is a secret lesson that the others are not going to get at all. You see, we're going to be learning some notes down here in our low chalumeau register. Yes, that's a French word, chalumeau register, down here in these low notes right here. Now I've got the fingerings for them. Thumb, 1, 2, 3 is your C, which you already know. And then this B fingering, thumb, 1, 2, 3, and the middle finger. If we used instead the first finger, that would be a B flat, but we're going to be playing a B natural because we're going to wind up playing a G scale. And here's your A, and then your low G. And you're probably thinking, I can't learn all these notes all at one time. Well, you don't have to. You see, this lesson is a foreshadowing of what's to come. You see, we're working on this in the background while the others will be doing other things. And then when these notes are introduced finally later on, then you'll already know them because you've been practicing this exercise. And everybody's going to be thinking, those clarinet players are amazing. They just know all these notes all of a sudden. They're just like, great. So we're going to keep it a secret. All right. Just between us. So we're going to learn these notes, and I've got a way for you to learn the names of the notes, and I think it's going to be easy for you. But remember, you know your C already, and just the B, it's just a half step lower there, and then your A and your G. But what am I talking about? Well, let's see here. Of course, there's the G scale, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, and there's the arpeggio. We'll come to that in a minute. We'll play through it. But it's easier to learn and memorize anything when you can associate it with some type of visual. All right. I'm a visual learner. I learn everything visually, even music, strangely enough. But the G below is on the G, it's, where the little G clef swirls around the treble clef. Well, that's on the G line. So you know that note already. And of course, your F sharp, it's got that sharp thing right there. It looks like it'd be very sharp to sit on, but that's your F sharp, first finger only. And then your E is on the Elvis line, Elvis's guitar broke down Friday line. And then that water drop D, it looks like a little water drop hanging underneath the branch. And then you've got your C. And let's just start reading here for this little thing that I wrote to help you a little bit. C is for Carl, who's been cut in half by a deadly ledger line dagger. Okay, that's Carl. He's been cut in half. Right there, see Carl? He's been cut in half. C is for Carl. All right, we know that note now. And then B. B looks like a bumblebee flying straight at us with his tiny, tiny wings parallel. Scientists say that bumblebees should not be able to fly. Bumblebees really don't care what scientists think. So that's the B. He's a little bumblebee flying straight at us. His wings are just straight out like that. It was just a still shot, okay? Then here we come to Albert. A is for Albert, who's been stabbed with a ledger line while another ledger line dagger sails just over him. They threw two ledger line daggers at him. Right? Albert ducked, but sadly, pause for dramatic effect. The other ledger line dagger struck its target. Now, that's Albert, okay? One sailed over his head, but the other one, all right, got Albert. Poor Albert. And then G is for Gary, who rolled on the ground to avoid the deadly ledger line daggers. As a trained fireman, Gary instinctively remembered his fire safety training. Stop, drop, and roll. So that's Gary. He ducked, he stopped, dropped, and rolled, and he missed both of those deadly ledger line daggers. Deadly ledger line daggers. Okay, all right. So let's go back. So remember, C is for Carl. He's cut in half by one ledger line. Then there's the bumblebee. Then there's Albert. He ducked, but oh man. And then, but G is for Gary the Fireman. All right. So now let's go back up to the top. So we've got our G, F sharp, first finger only, E, D, C, B, A, G. So let's play this one right here. And I do have my metronome marking at 90. Maybe, I think we could try it. We'll try it at 90. Let's see if we can handle it. If I need to slow down, we'll slow down. Okay. But remember all your basics about your embouchure, bottom lip roll under just a little bit, just about right there. Two top teeth right there on the top of the mouthpiece. You want to seal it off on the side. You want to seal off the edges of the reed. I've been talking a long time. This feels very dry, scary. All right. And then you want to begin each note by lightly touching your tongue to the reed, like so. All right. Here we go. Here's number 90. I can't point because I need two hands to play the clarinet. All right. Sorry. So you're just going to have to follow along. Right? Here we go. Here's the number one. 2, A. Yeah, notice the little skip in the intervals right here. C, F sharp, first finger only to the G. So you let off all these fingers except for that first finger. Then you let off to go to the G. Now, number 2, G, F sharp, E, D, C, which is this guy right there, Carl. Carl, Bumble Bee, middle finger of the right hand. A is for Albert, 2-letter line, second one struck its target. And G for Gary the Fireman, who stopped, dropped, and rolled. Hey, we already know these notes. Good gravy, man. Okay, you're brilliant. All right, here we go. Number 2, and 1, 2, okay. Now I should have, if I'd written it right, I probably would have ended on a G. I just wanted to do something different. Sorry. Okay. Now, number 3. This looks like we're just going down a G scale. Yeah. And we start off with a half note, quarter, 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 quarter. B from Bumblebee, Albert, Gary, Albert, B, Carl, D, E, F sharp. That's very sharp and ouch. G, F sharp. And then we go back down again and come back up. Okay. Repetition. Training your muscle memory in the fingers. Let's try number 3. 1, 2, buckle your shoe. Yeah. And then number 4, we go G, G, F sharp, first finger only, E, D, D, C, C, B, A, G. Allergies. G, B. Oh, G to the B. So we're going to go G, and then we'll lift out these 2 outer fingers to leave down the middle finger. G, B, D, B, C, C, C. B, A, D. See, A, Albert, A, D, low G, Gary the Fireman. Ready? Number 4. It's getting exciting here. 1, 2, hey. Yes. And then number 5, let's scroll this up a little bit, make it a little bit better. Here we've got C, C, E, G, E, right? C, E, G, E, C, B, A, G, A, B, C, D, C, B, G, C. So let's try that. Ready? Number 5. 1, 2, ready? Now, if you'll leave your fingers right above the keys right here, you won't risk accidentally missing one. If you just have them right there, and you can also kind of feel the air leaking out of those holes because that's where it's coming out of. So you can kind of feel it and say, oh, yeah, that's where it's going to go. Pow. You know, you just know right where it's going to be. So you don't get lost or accidentally miss it, and then the note doesn't come out. So embarrassing. Okay. Number 7, the low G scale. So we're going to start with all these fingers down. And say you do this, you go, and it doesn't want to come out, maybe some of your fingers are not sealing off. Make sure also you got enough mouthpiece in your mouth, but not too much, but you get a squeak. So G A. Let me point here. G A B C D E F sharp G F sharp E D C. Bumblebee, Albert, Gary, Bumblebee, D, water drop D, G on the swirly line, G, D, B, G. Let's try it. Ready? And oh, 1, 2. Yes. And you'll hear it at the end of that last note. I kind of was reaching for that, and I didn't really. I let my embouchure go bad at the very end. I went bah like that. Maybe you heard that. Okay. You want to keep your embouchure firm to the release of the note when you stop blowing, and you never want to stop a note with your tongue like dot like that. Sounds so nasty. Don't do that. Make it sound beautiful to where people want to hear you play. All right, and of course you already know all that stuff. And here's the G. That's really not an exercise. That's just kind of just something for you to look at and to study as I went through this little story right here. So, just study those notes, learn, think about the story here. And this exercise, it's like I said, this is a foreshadowing of what is to come. It's going to make life easier for you because we're going to be playing some notes down in the trombone register. And, like for instance, the trombone, this is like when the trombone's playing their mid range, this is their range right there. So you play pretty low. So, but so you won't have to jump octaves. And besides, you need to learn these notes anyway later on, so you can learn the full range of the clarinet and all that you need to have. So hopefully, you need to be kind of practicing this in the background. Remember, it's a secret between you and me. We're not going to tell the other guys, not those flutes, clarinets. Not the flutes and the saxophones and everybody. This is just us, okay? We're just clarinets only in our little club. And you need to work on these notes and in the background so that when we get to those notes, everyone will just realize that you're brilliant. Yeah. Okay. So hopefully this will be very beneficial for you. I will go over this every day. All right. You eat your cereal in the morning, read your Bible, and then you go over lesson 6.5. Right. And then brush your teeth. You don't want to hurt anybody.